Yes, sir. Sir, very happy morning to all. My dear lovable students, I believe that you have prepared very well for the direct tax and the indirect tax examination. If you see at inter level, this paper is one of the most voluminous paper in entire both G1 and G2. Because actually these two are two papers where we are having lot of content. The ICAI is expecting us to consolidate things in a very smaller time. So surely how you are going to write that 3 hours matters a lot for your examination, my dear lovable students. For that 3 hours, my dear lovable students, you will be having a general doubt that whether you have to write first MCQ or descriptive. As a tax faculty, my opinion to you is start with descriptive first rather than going to the MCQ, because in tax generally MCQ will be little tricky for surely for at least 10 mark out of 30 mark, because they will be asking something relating to something, so they will be connecting the MCQ. So if that 5 to 10 mark go for a toss, automatically generally a student will get tensed. So don't take that risk. Starting computation of total income, we are experts in that 14-15 mark first you write in the DT paper. Out of that 15 mark itself, we can ensure 10 plus mark. It may be 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14. And when you are writing answer, not only write the computation but also write notes. That note should be sufficient. Don't write too much. You do one thing. First see for how much mark. It will be for 14 mark. Just do 14 into 1.8. You will be getting total time of 25 minutes. You can spend max 25 to 30 minutes to wind up that question. You have done with one big question. Directly you go to GST payable. First you do. That will be a 10 mark area for examination. Another 10 into 1.8, 18-20 minutes time. So basically 25 plus 20, nearly first 45 minutes you will be completing a very good amount of chunk of marks, which is basically 25 mark. This is what I will suggest to you, because when we start our NEET will be very high. We will be writing very legibly. So when we are able to complete this 25 mark itself, one chunk done. Then come to the second chunk of 25 mark, my dear lovable students. Choose standalone question. I will tell you, choose standalone question. Standalone question in the sense means sometimes they would have asked the salary question for 5 mark or 6 mark. Write that salary question. Then another they may ask the set off and carry forward question. Knock off that set off and carry forward for 4 mark. They would have asked in even GST also time of supply or value of supply or place of supply question. That may be for 5 mark to 7 mark. That you knock off 5 mark to 7 mark. Like this, you pick the standalone question. And there is no need that first you have to complete the DT, then only you have to go to the IDT. Is there any, compulsion? No. So, write for marks, not for subject. Write for marks, not for subject. Because if you are writing only DT, ultimately you are in a position where, oh my god, you know, 45 நிமிஷம் தான் இருக்கு, எனக்கு IDT முடிக்கணுமே, அந்த டென்ஷன்லயே பாதி IDT flop ஆயிடும். So, whether DT will be tough or IDT will be tough, I will tell you a rule, general rule. Whenever combo papers are there, only 2 combo papers are there. DT and IDT is a combo paper. FM and SM is a combo paper. Right. Whenever combo paper is there, if one subject is easy, others should be tough. Generally. So my dear lovable students, that's a mind game they will be playing. So last time DT was very tough. So automatically IDT will be on average. So if this time, either both may be on average or DT may be little easy and IDT may be little average. So if that is the case, you should understand one thing from the psychological effect of the question paper, that okay fine, so then the other paper will have 40 mark. So if DT is so tough, IDT will have 40 mark. If IDT is so tough, DT will be having 40 mark. There you should be able to go and pick. So like this, so you should be able to pick a 25 mark, another 25 mark within next 45 minutes. So what you have done within, my dear lovable students, 1.5 hour to 1 1.5 hour to 1.45 hour, ஒரு 1.5 மணி நேரம் to 1.25 மணி நேரத்துல you would have completed a solid 50 mark out of your 100 marks. This is what the planning. கட்டாயமா இந்த 50 மார்க்ல இருந்து நீ பாஸ் ஆயிடுவே. 40 மார்க் வந்துச்சு, அவ்வளவுதான். break even achieve. That means in the sense means எப்படி இருந்தாலும் computation of total income நமக்கு தெரியாதுன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே இல்லை. We have solved out of 25 question 20 question we have solved. Computation of GST payable 10 mark area we have solved 25 past examination question. That's it. This is the confident area, man. This is the confident area. And standalone question also we have solved. So this 50 mark you should be able to do minimum 1 hour 30 minutes. You can take no problem 1 hour 45 minutes also. Then coming to the third slot of your writing, which there you come to MCQ part. MCQ part. In that MCQ, sir, generally DT MCQ will be little, sir, complicated. Generally. So first go with the IDT MCQ. There IDT MCQ is 15 mark and DT MCQ is 15 mark. Totally 30 mark they will be asking. That should be the next NSR 1. So 30 into 1.8 means, my dear lovable students, we are having a leverage of 1 hour to solve the MCQ part. Leverage of 1 hour. That too you can solve it within 45 minutes or you can take up to 1 hour. No problem. Sir, what is the time? The first 25 mark you will be writing within 45 minutes, which is nothing but computation of total income and computation of GST payable. This should be the opening batsman. Why this is the opening batsman? Because here there is no question of going wrong. Only presentation is there. Starting, pray very well. Start writing these two questions. You will be cool and composed. Number 2, the second slot, the second 25 mark should be 45 minutes. This is standalone question. Standalone question means you go and pick value of supply. Come back, DT, set of carry forward. Go back, sir, place of supply. Come back here, sir, clubbing of income, finding out residential status. Like that you have to write standalone question. Now you will be end up with 1.3 hours is over. Another 1.3 hours is there. So there you can have a leverage of 15 minutes. You can take extra, no problem at all. Because here itself you are completing what? 50 mark. In this 50 mark, you will be able to get at least 35 to 40 mark is confirmed. That means by this slot 1.5 hours itself, you are going to pass. You will be get this thing. Then the next 30 mark, my dear lovable students, that is MCQ. You can take 45 minutes to 1 hour, no problem at all. Still you will be left with, sir, 20-30 minutes. Still you will be left with 20-30 minutes. Come back to the fourth slot, write all the miscellaneous part. Write all the miscellaneous part in the sense means what is pending in the question paper. Try to write for another, sir, 25 marks also, 20-25 marks what is there. So if that is the case, you will be having minimum 30 minutes spending with you. Minimum 30 minutes spending with you. This is how you have to approach a paper. There is no concept of easy or tough in tax. It is only how you are approaching the paper, my dear lovable students. And I will tell you, accounts means they will give step mark. Costing means there are step mark. But in tax, there is a concept called as provision mark. Provision mark in the sense means if you are writing very simply, sir, for example, basic salary is 10,000 into 12, 1,20,000. Okay, fine. Number 2 is RFA. You will be calculating some RFA. You are getting 2,356 RFA, for example. You have to write the provision for the RFA. Sir, since the employee is a government employee, license be determined by the government, non-government employee, since the pop is based upon population, like that and all, you have to express yourself as the notes. And whenever you are writing notes, write the notes what is needed just to what and express the exact provision. Everything should be within the time limit, my dear lovable students. So this is what the approach for the tax examination is all about. Sir, we have studied a lot with regard to tax this time. Read the question paper properly. And one last advice to you with regard to tax, whether it is direct tax or indirect tax, I will tell you. Any tax question, any examination, when you are reading for the first time, you will feel it as difficult. Any tax question for the first time when you are reading, sir, you will feel it as difficult. So you do one thing. If you read a question, if you are feeling that a question is tough, reread the question once again, second time, then you will, sir, able to feel it. Because I used to hear a lot from the students that, sir, இதே கொஸ்டின் வீட்டில் வந்து படிச்சு பார்த்தேன் சார், ஒண்ணுமே இல்லை சார், ஈஸியாக கேட்குறாங்க சார். பட் அங்கே அந்த டென்ஷன் ப்ரெஷரில் படிக்கும்போது என்னன்னா என்னால் அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ண முடியல. ஏன் காரணம்னா the question will be generally integrated question. இன்டெகிரேட்டட் கொஸ்டினா அந்த ப்ரெஷரில் நமக்கு அது எல்லாத்தையுமே செக்ரிகேட் பண்ண முடியணும்னு கிடையாது. ஸோ ரீட் த கொஸ்டின் ட்வைஸ் பிஃபோர் யூ ஆன்சர் இட். திஸ் இஸ் நாட் ஃபார் அந்த அரித்தமெட்டிக்கல் மிஸ்டேக் வராமல் இருக்கிறதுக்காக இல்லை. சிலவங்களுக்கு என்ன கேட்டிருக்கானே புரியாது. ஸோ இஃப் தட் இஸ் அ கேஸ், மை டியர் லவபிள் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ், இஃப் யூ ஆர் ரீடிங், then for the second time you'll be feeling so much comfortable. This is our paper, man. Tax is our paper. You should not try. You should come back only with an exemption. You should not try. You should come back only with an exemption. Today is an exemption paper because accounts was moderate and law was lengthy. So generally tax should be a good paper, my dear lovable students. Go with very positive mindset. Sir, execute the paper very well. Don't run behind the answer. Sir, the the cushion for the tax is at least you can write provision for those questions. So vomit all the provision. There is no concept or failure at all in tax, because if they ask value of supply, you can write section 15. If they ask ITC, you can write about the blocked credit. So those provision we know, you express that provision. Don't, this is not a mathematical paper where just we have to just find out the numbers that you keep in mind. 50% of the mark carry below the answer and 50% only above the answer. That is your computation comprised of 50%. And sir, below it is only 50%. I am wishing you all the very best. Those who are going to write today's tax examination, come out with flying colors. Nothing less than exemption, my dear lovable students. If you want, sir, inform me by way of the comments. Have a positive note that, sir, in the Janda, in the exemption da. That's what today's NSR is all about. Revise the provision. Don't get tense. Don't discuss unnecessary things and all. We'll meet you appropriate at the appropriate time, sir, in the G2 classes, my dear lovable students, if you're writing only group number 1. And I'll be uploading what is a class structure of the coming classes and all after your examination. Sir, we are going to add 2 letters in our name, Chartered Accountant. We'll meet at the appropriate time. Thank you. Bye-bye from ANM and all the very best.